I'm not speaking in part of, nor am I paid or coerced in any manner by Ubisoft. This is a fan-made stream, and any viewpoints or opinions are based solely on my and Flopier's opinions. So Flopier is my second for today. He will be discussing with me the road
Hola,
to the.
everybody.
Yeah, he will be exposing the Olympics DLC with me. It'll be fantastic, man. I am so freaking hyped for this. So let us go to the podcast screen so everybody can see. Hey, we're live! Yeah. All right. So we're gonna cover up a couple of the RTTO announcements. So it was yesterday, or the day before. Was it the 12th or the 13th, Floppier? That it was
12th.
12th. Okay.
12th.
So the 12th, it was announced that on December 5th, the RTTO, the Road to the Olympics, will be coming out. I believe it's $30. I can't confirm that yet. Do you know if that's?
Yes, that's what I was told.
Okay, $30. Most likely there will be a secondary version of the game that will be released.
There are two other versions of the game. There will be a winner. Oh crap! I have it written down somewhere. A winner. Don't take my wording on this title to heart. I have it written down somewhere, not off the top of my head. It's winner edition version or winter sports edition of the game, and it will be a full 60.
Yeah, $60. Like it'll be like base price for the original game's release.
Yeah.
So, it'll be like $30 for the base, and then $30 for the Olympics on top of that. Is what I'm assuming.
And then they're gonna have a gold edition.
So that comes with the
so that edition we just talked about only comes with Road to the Olympics and Steep.
Mm-hmm.
Now the gold edition will also include the season 1 pass, and it's going to be coming in at a price of $80 US dollars. Now that's important. It's US dollars. I'm sure it's going to be different everywhere else. So just quick disclaimer there.
Yeah, so that's pretty good information for anybody who is looking for it. Just make sure if you're looking forward to this that it's not part of the season pass. Don't get it in your head that it's part of the season pass already. So it will be an additional $30 on top of what you've already invested into the game. If you're not willing to invest that, hey, that's your choice. But I am so excited for this. I will be dropping $30 as soon as it comes out. No doubt about it.
You and me both.
All right, so there's a couple things that I noticed on the YouTube videos that were sent out on the 12th. Man, I'm gonna change my screen real quick here, and we're gonna go over a few things that I saw. So I've got the Steep Road to the Olympics gameplay that was highlighted by Gamesprouts. Okay, and I'm gonna play this just a little bit. So, first off, you notice the snow effects there down in the bottom. They have changed a lot of how the snow effects work. And if you look right here on his landing, there's no G-force meter. There's no G-force meter telling you how close you are to dying. So I'm wondering if they completely changed how the G-force system works for the Olympics or for certain sports in the Olympics, such as snowboarding.
So what I noticed when I played, it was actually different on all aspects of the new map. The G-force meter wasn't just on the Olympics. It wasn't just missing on the Olympics. I noticed it in the other ones. I don't know if that is intended for final, release, but I do know that they added a new animation that when you land and it's a hard landing or a hard hit, you will have a short blackout animation come over you to simulate, taking a hard hit. Now that will go, and then you'll see a chunk come out of the G-force bar, and that's only on hard hits.
Okay,
really
so
hard
it's
hits.
It's not like you're gonna be tripping over just shit randomly, just like
not from what I could tell.
So it's going to be a little bit more forgiving than it originally was?
Yeah, it sure seems that way.
All right, so the new G-force system looks to be pretty interesting. Did you see anything in regards to the mini trick system? Do you think that the mini tricks are a little bit more identified, or you're getting more rewarded for long jumps as compared to short ones?
Yeah, so actually, interesting bit with the addition of the grinding mechanic, which I'm sure we're going to get into a little bit later. It actually seems like jumps, the point reward hasn't really been changed for them. Micro tricks seem to be very identified. I tried doing a few to make up some point gaps there, and was getting almost nothing for them. Um, but super excited about the new mechanics. So yeah, micro tricks are definitely going to be a thing that they are working on taking out, from what I've played at least.
Alrighty. Well, there's next point I want to hit on, and this is going to be my last point for the RTTO, is the snow powder animations. I just pointed that out a little bit on the YouTube video, but it seems like the deeper the snow, the more that's going to be kicked up. I'm interested to hear on your opinions on how that looked while you were playing with it, Floppier.
You know, I didn't notice, like, I didn't think about it until you said something, because it was just an animation to me, and it didn't really affect gameplay too much, but it does affect visual. And, you know, visually, it was nice. There was a lot more snow kicked up, now that I think about it. I did, like, notice it, but it was nothing that really, you know, like,
it
caught
didn't block
me to,
your
like,
screen or
talk
anything?
about it. Yeah, no. There was a lot more snow kicked up, so that animation has definitely been tweaked.
Yep.
For this map.
And going into the deeper Japan powder, I hear that's like 96 centimeters, something like that, somewhere like waist high. It's just above your waist, and that sounds really cool because I wonder what the jumps are going to look like coming out of there. I saw a couple of them on another YouTube video that look like the deeper the powder is, the more you're going to kick up. But I wonder how that looks for the skis, because I haven't seen a lot of skiing go through there in the deeper powder.
True enough. I only skied a little bit on the new Road to the Olympics, so it kicks up the same amount as snowboard. I didn't notice any sizable difference. Again, I wasn't paying too much attention to that animation. I was so brought in by the gameplay, but for sure the powder's deeper, and it does change the way a few things seem to feel, but it's just because you're used to reading the terrain how it is. But with the snow being deeper, the terrain's going to be different.
Okay. Now, I actually lied. I do have another thing that I'd like to talk about with the RTTO. The ski animations, like when you're in the Olympics, and as far as first person goes.
Oh, let me talk about the first person for a second.
Okay. You go ahead.
Okay.
I'm gonna put on the video. Go ahead.
Yeah. So first person, guys. The lead game developer actually came by and was urging me to try first person going down the downhill portion of the Olympics DLC, and I actually told him, you know, I feel like you're teasing me, because the first person I know is the GoPro, and as most of you know, it's pretty much unusable for actual challenges. And the people who do get their challenges with it, hats off to them. But it's very shaky. So he came back around and mentioned it again. So I just gave it a quick try, and he's like, "Yeah, we changed it." And guys, it is so much more stable now. I actually preferred it and noticed that my times were quicker. It seemed like I was losing less speed, and I don't think that's really a mechanic thing. Like if you're in first person, you lose less speed. I think it was more I knew when to turn better. I was gauging it better. I can't really explain it, but it was.
It seems like you can tell where your skis are going to be a little bit easier. You can curve.
Yeah.
You can,
because they changed.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So they changed that animation as well, if no one really noticed. So the skis now like flip out and your body stays in a central position. It's actually more realistic and looks like if you were to watch a skier doing a downhill or something like that in the Olympics. It's all about posture, and they really nailed it.
They really killed the posture. I think both cameras, going back to another earlier in the video, you can see how he's the camera is staying downhill. It's staying focused where it's supposed to be, and your skier is acting accordingly. You know, it looks so slick as compared to what it looks like outside of the RTTO. They did a lot of mechanical changes for this, and I'm so excited for it. I can't wait to grind out just hours and hours on this freaking RTTO and get my times down. It just looks so smooth. It's so smooth.
Oh, yeah.
And just imagine what the scores, oh my lord, what the scores will be like on these. I can just see.
I'm scared.
I'm sure we're going to have some brand new competition coming out, and it's gonna
Oh,
be.
yeah. Well, it's different mechanics, so basically everyone's on a level playing field. I mean, not really everyone. I mean, you guys, the professionals, like the Yetis, I'm sure that it'll come quicker because we, invested so much time in the game, and you guys just can pick it up quicker. But I'm sure new people will come, and the mechanics will just come easy to them, and they'll catch up, for sure.
Yep, it sounds fantastic for me.
Gotta work hard.
Oh my god. Okay, so can you do a quick check and make sure I'm still streaming, by the way? My OBS is acting a little funky.
Sure.
While you're checking on that, I'm going to move on to the next point, the Freeride World Tour. We had 3 winners, 1 on each console, so that'd be PS4 with It's Mystify. The Xbox One had Perism, and the PC had Quentos. Dude, brand new names except for It's Mystify, so I'm glad to see that there was some alternation, because we're so used to seeing cinematic, we're so used to seeing It's Mystify, just blowing up those scoreboards. We're used to seeing the Seba, the usual names, but then you have Quentos and Perism coming in and stealing those scores from them. So that's really cool to see. Moving on. So we're gonna go into game mechanics now. A couple tips from the pros is don't ever start from the beginning. I see a lot of people starting from where the game tells you to, and I can't stress enough how bad that is. You're just never going to get a good time. And even if you're just going for the gold medal, if you want to go for the gold medal, start from a new place. You're going to get it way faster and a way more consistently if you don't do it from where it tells you to. You want to start a little bit higher up on the mountain, not too high as to where you're wasting just a bunch of time and you're restarting over and over and over again, but you want to make it more consistent and get better angles, and just whatever you can do to help yourself throughout the challenge, exploit it. Whatever you can find to make the challenge easier, it's just gonna benefit you in the long run. So find all the exploits. It's like an Easter egg hunt. It's just amazing. You want to find all of them because it helps you so much in the long run. Do you have anything to say on that, Flappier?
I completely agree with everything that was just said.
Is there any specific challenges that you use this mechanic on always?
Bombing is what I call it, and I use it on anything I'm trying to get a world record on. If I'm just going, just to show it off, sometimes I won't bomb it, but generally every time it's yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't suggest bombing for new players. That's where you clip the very edge of the starting checkpoint in wingsuit or in other flying suits.
That's what you call bombing?
That's what I call bombing.
Oh my goodness, I call that clipping.
Clipping? What are you talking about? Just diving straight into it?
Yeah, no. So bombing is when you start from higher up for me, when you start higher up the mountain and you bomb into it, and then clipping is when you clip the side of it going in.
Okay, well, your terminology is a little weird. That's okay.
Yeah.
I don't fault you for it. We haven't
Tomato.
Yeah, we haven't really discussed a good terminology for all things steep, so we're just going off of what we call things. All right, next up's proximity flying. If you want to start up from the proximity flying, that's usually not as pertinent that you start from a different location. It's more that you get really close to certain objects as compared to others. So snow and ice on the ground really doesn't affect your score that much. What really affects it is glaciers, any protrusions from the base mountains, so like rocks, trees, houses, telephone wires, all of that stuff. All of those things will give you, I'd say, about 80 times the amount of points it's flying next to the ground. And the more objects you fly next to, so you fly, you got 2 rocks right next to each other, and they making kind of like a V that you can just slide yourself through. That'll give you like 240 times, way more points than you would normally get just by flying near the ground. So clip right next to those rocks and get nice and close. If you die, hey, you know what? Fly just a little bit farther away. But you always want to be getting points off of rocks as compared to getting points off of the snow. Because no matter how far you are away from rocks, as long as you're earning points, you're still earning points quicker than you would be right next to the snow. Moving on to ground sports, so skiing, snowboard, that stuff. Taunting after landing a hard fall, so landing a fall that you'd take 6 or more G-forces on. That will cause an animation that'll make you like falter or something like that. It'll make you stutter. But if you're spamming the taunt button, you're spamming A or X on PS4, it'll cancel the animation and you'll just go on your merry way without having taken that G-force animation damage, and that'll keep you going a little bit faster. This will impact your run about 0.0001% of the time, but on the case you're right next to a rock and otherwise you would have flown right into that rock if you had an animation canceled, hey, you know what? There you are. But yeah, just start spamming that A button right before you crash into something. It may save your life.
And if you guys notice, Cinematic does that all the time.
Oh yeah, if you ever have him, you're following his record. Oh, be ready to plug your ears. You just might as well turn off the audio at that point. That's all he does. Okay. Do you have any game mechanics or advice that you'd like to share, Floppy?
No, right off the top of my head, nope.
Alrighty, so we're gonna move on to interesting locations. I've got 3 interesting locations for today. We've got the air park that is centered on the Cursed Mountains. That is the host of the 11 Ring Challenge and the 9 Ring Challenge. I'm going to be showing you the 11 Ring Challenge here in a little bit, but that's a great place to learn how to wingsuit if you haven't already. It's difficult. I'm not going to give you guys any false hope of it being easy. If you want to learn how to wingsuit, that's the place to go because it is difficult. And if you guys want to follow my line, which I'm going to be showing here shortly, in the 11 Ring Challenge, that's the place you want to look. There's a couple other places, such as the Ruined Castle and the Giant Ski Ramp. The coordinates will be listed in the YouTube video that I will be supplying, but if you guys want to look that up, there is a Reddit post right now that has all of the locations, and
I can actually list them off for you right now. For Air Park, it'll be at 2356 South, 5969 West, and for the Giant Ski Jump, it's going to be a little bit different.
3349 South to 5447 West, and the Ruined Castle is 1151 North to 4297 East. Again, this will all be on the YouTube video, so if you can't catch that right away, just wait for the YouTube video to come out, and you will have that information in the summary below.
And those on stream, you're welcome.
Yeah. If you guys are already on stream, you're waiting, you're like, oh, cool, got it. Well, there you are. So, do you have any other interesting locations that you'd like to give a quick shout out to, Floppy?
Man, you're catching me off.
No, I understand. I'm just throwing this shit at him, hoping something sticks.
Giant cheese wheels. The giant cheese wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's actually a mission for those. Mm-hmm. Apparently there are 3 of them around the map. I remember randomly finding the first one and thinking it was the most special thing ever.
It's hard to flip.
Yeah, but those. Yeah, those are definitely something interesting just to check out if you're wanting to be silly and just check out some cool stuff around the map.
Alrighty, so we're going to move on to the next section, videos of the week. We've got a video submission sent by ObzenDF called Close Call. I don't know if there's any audio. Oh well. And he lives! Don't worry about it. Alright, next one up is sent by yours truly. I made a video just for this podcast. We got the 11 Ring Challenge. Here you go.
Wow, the ego.
Society, guys. If you guys want to see that video separately, I will have it linked also. I will be uploading that separately, as well as it will be on this podcast later when it comes up on YouTube. So if you want to see that again, it will be all over the place. We're going to move on to a couple of last subjects. First off is just a fun fact of the day. I met up with a few Yan, F-I-E-U-X space Y-A-N-N, while I was over at the RTTO trip to France. And it turns out that he was the guy who created LaFuse, which is my favorite challenge in the game. This he was the epitome of wingsuit before I even knew it was a thing. So, hats off to Few Yan. This guy is freaking crazy. I wish I could have had more time to chat with him about it. Next, shout out to the CheckMySteeze challenge. It's a fan-made challenge over on Reddit, so if you haven't heard of it, I really suggest checking it out. It's just, they give you coordinates from where to start and where to end, and it's your job to make the coolest, sickest, unbroken line from A to B. And it's got you can fast forward, you can shorten it down, you can make it slower, but it has to be an unbroken line, so don't change your viewpoint or anything like that, as long as you can see all the tricks and it doesn't look like any editing went on to break up or add other lines in between. Alrighty, now we're going to move on to the Yeti Society. This is the main reason for this, other than the RTTO talking, is, of course, with the Yeti talk. So the Yeti Society, who are we? Who's in the Yeti Society? So I'm just going to name off some quick names, just tell you who's in here and how long we've been in here, what are we, and a suggestion. This will be a weekly thing, going through at least one suggestion per podcast that the Yetis have suggested themselves. So, first off, who are we? So, obviously, I myself am a Yeti. There's also Mystify, Cinematic, Vanessa Magic, Asylum, Chev Barbara, Freddy's Frayed, Fruitarian, Hammerhead, Hunter the Fox, Iseba, Kali, K-Dog, Mr. High, Oakley Flack, Patcher the Dog, Snicks, The God James, Vex, Villain, and XGB Bogey. There are 20 of us. I don't know how many of you guys could have guessed that, but there are 20 of us listed here. I think, unless I got my count wrong. But I think that's 20. Yeah, there's 20 of us. So, yeah, there are 20 Yetis right now currently in the Yeti Society. And what do we do? What are we? Essentially, right now, we're just kind of the middleman. We're the guys that Ubisoft is most access to communicate between the community and them. So we're kind of like the spokespeople for the community, and we want to give you we want to give the Ubisoft folks the best representation and the best ideas that the community has to offer. So a lot of things that you guys have suggested over at Reddit, or a lot of things that have been suggested, period, have also made their way into our suggestion section. One thing that's been suggested almost unanimously is changing where the locations of all the checkpoints are in your challenges, or how big the challenges checkpoints are, or even something as small as changing the color of the checkpoints so that they stand out a little bit better against the mountain. None of that may work its way into the game, but those are suggestions that we have made as well. The most recent one I've made myself was making the ghosts slightly transparent when they're close to you or the screen, making it easier to see through them. So if you're trying to beat the best of the day, best of the week, best of all time, the ghost isn't going to get in your way and cause your entire screen to blow up with just their image. I think that'd be a cool little addition to even if you're going against gold medals, because you can't hit them anyway, but they can get in your way if you're just going down the mountain with them. So changing how transparent they are based on proximity to you. That was a big one for me. And a lot of things like that have already been suggested in the Reddit and in the community as a whole. But I wanted you guys to know that we are also looking into it. We also are putting forth these suggestions. And we want the same thing you guys do. We want Steep to be the best game it possibly can. We can't talk about a lot of the things that are for sure going to be in the RTTO or upcoming events, but we can tell you guys a little bit here and there, and I've already clarified that this is okay to talk about. Nothing.
And guys, we want to talk to you about it. Yeah, we really want to talk to you about it. So everything we can tell you, we'll get it out there for you guys. Like, I just want to make that clear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But that is it for me. I don't have anything further to discuss unless you have something you're just like, hey, I really wanted to talk about this, Floppy.
Yeah, so guys, if you have suggestions for improvements that you'd like to see in the game, or just things that you find annoying, anything like that, just you can head it over to Reddit if you're not already there, and I'm sure there is a thread there for you to post things like that. But also here on Bone Crusher's video, I'm sure he'd be willing to take them in the comments as well and express anything he sees that really stands out and discuss it. So feel free to do that in the comments down below, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep. So one more time, I want to reiterate that nothing that we've said here is set in stone. Nothing about the RTTO that we've seen so far is for sure. We don't know the prices are for sure. We also don't know if any of our projections or suggestions are for sure. So we don't want to give you guys the wrong idea that this is going to be implemented in the game soon or if at all. We just want to let you guys know what we are also talking about in the community, so that there is a little bit closer bridge between us. I don't want to make it seem like we're all high and mighty over here in the Yeti Society. That's not true at all, and we don't think so. And we hope you guys understand that we can't talk about everything. So with that, I think this wraps up this podcast. Do you have anything left to say, Fabian?
Nope. So everything's good.
Alrighty, guys. I'm so glad that you guys all popped in to say hi. I didn't really get to see any of the comments. I don't have enough space on my screen to see if anybody Twitch chatted. But if you guys have anything for the YouTube, just let me know. And you can contact me, obviously, on Discord, Reddit, Skype, usual places that easy to contact. So, thanks, guys. Have a good one.